As we've been seeing, the field of wildlife photography is a very fascinating and interesting journey. And if you have an interest in the habitat, in the ecosystem, you have an interest on the environment, wildlife photography can be the perfect way for you to express yourself. Let's continue to learn more about the subject. So how do you reach out to people?
So that's again a good question, because even if you are active on social media and you are constantly updating your page, you're putting new content, there's always a limitation on the amount of people it reaches. And if it's an important message, for example on conservation like I just spoke on, it's an important message on fragmentation of forests, then you'd obviously, it'll be better if you have a bigger audience, a larger audience. So there are certain ways here and there where there are social media accounts that often showcase your picture. Okay. So that is on a smaller scale when you use particular hashtags, this and that, and they'll showcase your work, and that they have already an established base of audience, and that helps. But what helps the cause even more is, for example, in my case, my messages speak on conservation. My messages speak on awareness of biodiversity in areas that people were not so aware of before. So what someone has to do is find the right platform, magazine or digital platforms that highlight these sort of issues, that highlight these messages. And trust me, there are many of them out there, and that are always looking for fresh content from youngsters, from people with experience. So you have to reach out to these kind of platforms that already have an established audience and that have a sort of hold in your field, and whose words are taken seriously. So if your message is given through them, then it makes a much bigger impact than it would otherwise.
So then how do you prioritize your writing? You know, when you are, you have an intention, you have an objective that you want to, through the writing and photographs, spread the word on conservation. So what do you prioritize on? What do you focus on so that the awareness that you want to spread reaches the public?
So for that, it takes sometimes months to really work at it, or sometimes what happens is you're sent on an assignment by maybe the magazine or digital platform that you have approached. They send you on an assignment that's already got a fixed schedule. But if it's something that you're working on, that's something personal to you, then it has to really be personal to you. And in my case, something like that came about when speaking to this mentor of mine who has influenced me strongly in wildlife, in my photographs and everything. His travels in the Andaman Islands, for example, they had always left me dreaming of these places, to visit these islands, to hop from one island to the other. And so the moment I was free in the season, because Andaman has a season of travel, you have to make the best in that season, because the rest of the time the seas are too rough to travel there. So it can be done, but it's unpleasant. So we tried to look at this time span between January and February. Not ideal, but still good. So it started off there. The fact that I was free at that point and the planning starts. Now looking at the map, trying to figure out the kind of logistics, etc., all for traveling. So first thing is to plan the travel, is to plan it thoroughly. And once you're looking at the travel, of course you should remember that it doesn't end there in the planning of the travel back home, because on the field, traveling has a lot more problems that you will not anticipate. So prioritizing travel first off is very, very important, because for anything to go smoothly when you are not at home, you need a lot of planning. And in areas remote like in the islands of the Andamans, you need a double amount of effort, because things can go off just like that. So planning was of utmost importance, and taking into account every step of the way, right from the flight that we had taken to the ferry rides that we are going to take, from AM to PM, whatever we are doing, we needed to take in everything into account. And then comes, of course, when you are on the field. You have to learn to observe and keep your senses heightened at all times. If you want to write properly, if you want to write something that captivates your audience, you have to really make them feel like they're in that spot. So taking into account all the sights, the sounds, everything that you see, everything that you hear, everything that you experience, everything has to be taken into account. And of course, then you have your own writing style that formulates this entire experience and puts it into the words that you're known for, that your writing style and all of that. And everything, I still remember every sunset, every little tree, the silhouettes of trees. I remember everything. And travel companions obviously make the trip much more fun and easy to remember, because you always have memories that you're very fond of. So the sightseeing is not the only thing that you need to take into account, because sometimes you can get carried away. The beauty of the island especially, it's really captivating. But the work doesn't stop there, because once you've done the travel and reached your base, which in our case was a little homestay, it was a beautiful place. Again, you shouldn't get carried away by the beauty of it all. We still had to be very focused, because we had only a few days there, about 5 or 6. So we had to make the most of those 5-6 days. And that included now planning out smaller travel logistics, hiring bikes, hiring cars, whatever it required to move from point A to point B, to cover as much ground as we could in that area, to take in all the wildlife that we could, whether it was ducks on the beach, or it was something else, for example other forest birds in the dense thickets of those islands. So we had to plan out everything step by step, because for again things to go smoothly, you need a lot of planning behind it. And it was only after when all these things were done, I had planned everything till the visit of our base, to the planning of visiting all the forests around, all the beaches around, in Andamans that is particularly, and capturing all the wildlife that we could within the span of 5 or 6 days. Now the thing is to write it all down, because you have taken in an immense amount of knowledge and experience. Now you can't just vomit it all out, because you have to be focused on keeping the points as you experience them, starting from, to repeat again, the travel, the logistics, the sightseeing, the animals, everything. You need to be clear on everything. Only then can you put it across in a crystal clear manner. And of course, there's no end to the amount of stories that you can find in these areas, be it whether you're talking about the local inhabitants, or the island itself, or its wildlife. And then it just comes down to you, whether you choose a particular wildlife, the island, or the journey itself, whatever it is. So there have been a lot of different ideas that I had got, and one of them was on writing for the birds, on the birds of the islands. So that was one topic that I focused on primarily to bring out an article. And the second one was to focus on this little gecko that was found in the islands, that very shy gecko, but we were very fortunate enough to witness a whole chain of events that took place in the life of these geckos, where a male was trying to woo a female, and something very unusual. So I knew that was something I had to write on. And so some things like that will come up, some things like that you go plan to the destination, and other things you come back from the destination, you retrospect, you look at the travel, and you can think of what to write and how to proceed.